Hi, my name is Valerie, and today I would like to help you recognize America's imminent little horn, the man of sin, the Antichrist, because he is coming to America. As you know, we live in the latter days. We're going to live to see many ancient prophecies fulfilled. At least two that I'm aware of that are imminent are the destruction of America as we know it, starting as early as next year, 2024, and the coming forth of the little horn. So my goals are to increase the world's awareness of the events headed our way, to help you identify and not be deceived and destroyed by this little horn. He's going to be enormously powerful. And to remind you, there's always salvation in heeding God's living prophet on the earth. And currently that's President Russell M. Nelson of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, of which I'm a member. So there are three visions I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to start first with Daniel's vision in the book of Daniel in the Bible. So let's read Daniel 7:7-8. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast. So the beasts in Daniel's vision represent nations and kingdoms. So I beheld a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces other nations, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. So horns are symbols of power. So just think of them as rulers. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. So I'm going to pause right there because that phrase is very powerful. So there's only 10 horns, and this little horn is going to pluck out 3 of the other horns by the roots. So he is very impactful. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. So as we read this vision, we really want to know what nation is this? And the answer is actually found in the second vision I want to walk you through, which is Esdras' vision. So in 2nd Esdras, chapters 11 and 12, this is part of the Apocrypha, we learn of an eagle that has 3 heads that appears to be America. Now, the individual who's being shown this vision is Ezra, who just happens to be Daniel's brother. So he is told in his vision, the eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of the brother Daniel. But it was not expounded unto him, therefore now I declare it unto thee. So there are a lot of details about America and how America falls that you won't find in any other place. So I definitely recommend that you read those chapters and have a testimony for yourself of whether or not it's true. Now, it has been, this vision and the prophecy has been tracking true since 1929. I don't see any reason why it won't still come true. And if it does come true, we're going to see a lot of fireworks of things happening in America next year. So continuing with the vision, in Ezra's vision, he sees the 3 heads of the eagle die, and he also sees 2 people who pass over the head of the eagle. So they're usurping power. They're not getting power the usual way through our democratic process. They're jumping over that and obtaining power in another way. Okay, so with 2 people passing over the head that is on the right side, it signifies that these are they whom the highest hath kept unto their end. This is the small kingdom and full of trouble. So that change, when America falls, is going to usher in a lot of end time prophecies. It's a trigger, and it's a really big one. Let's go now to John. So John also had a vision. Now in his vision, he sees a beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns. Let's read about that. So the 10 horns that we read about in Daniel 7:24 are 10 kings without a kingdom, but they receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So naturally we want to know, why do these kings not have a kingdom? Did they used to? What advantages inspire them to collude together and to combine, or are they compelled to combine and to give their power and strength to the beast? So ordinarily, when you've got power, you don't want to give it away to other people. You want to keep your power. So why are they giving their power and strength to this beast? Continuing with John's visions, we see that this beast and its 7 heads represent 7 wicked nations that are fallen. They're mostly fallen. And I think that's the secret, is to know that they're fallen. So let's read in the book of Revelation 13. I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads, which represents the 7 nations, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, nations, and there are 7 kings. 5 of them are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. So out of the 7 nations, 6 of them don't have a leader. So this appears to be a time of a lot of chaos. And I think what's going to happen is America is going to fall, and it's going to create such an economic, it's going to create such economic distress that it's going to severely impact America, but also the rest of the world. But that's my, conjecture. Let's keep going. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, which might be America, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they, all the world, worshiped the dragon Satan, which gave power to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, "Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" So in summary, we see these 7 blasphemous, wicked, mostly fallen nations combine their forces, and they don't combine their forces for good, they combine their forces and go to war. So with so many fallen kings and talk of war, the world really does appear to be in chaos and peril. So my theory, as I just mentioned, when the little horn replaces the 3 branches of American government, or more accurately, when the 3 branches of American government fall, this may trigger economic collapse and worldwide economic contagion. It may lead to nations falling and creating a vacuum of power that these nations combine to step in and fill. So let's talk about the characteristics of the little horn. Now we've already read Daniel 7:8, where we learn that this guy has eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things, great pompous, blasphemous things. And we've already read Daniel 7:24 as well, that talks about how he's going to subdue these 3 kings, which are in Esdras' vision, were the 3 heads of America's government. Let's read now in Revelation 13. And there was given unto him a mouth, so there's the mouth reference again, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Now, during the days of Alma, who had run away from Noah, who was a wicked king, he created his own little nation of people who wanted to follow the Lord. Now, both his small, nation, if you want to call it that, and the nation of the people who remained, who were subjects of King Noah, they both got captured by the Lamanites and had to suffer under, a leader like this. The Lamanites had power over them. But if you look at what happened to both people, even though they both were subject to the same people, the Alma and his team, they were able to cheerfully continue to exist, waiting upon the Lord for deliverance, and the Lord delivered them. Now the other people weren't cheerful, didn't wait, and as a result, they lost an entire generation of fathers and sons, and left the women as widows and as women who couldn't find anybody to get married to because nobody was left. So our our responses to this guy are going to be important. Let's read the characteristics of this little horn. Now, rather than having you read all these scriptures, I just created a summary. So let's talk about the first 4 things. These are characteristics of this little horn. His mouth speaks great and blasphemous things. He is lawless. And so because of his lawless, rebellious nature, his desire to do things his way and not to be constrained by the government or anybody else, he may have an extensive history of lawsuits that may be the fruit of his life. So we'll see. Okay, he's a man of sin, opposition, unrighteousness, lies, deception, and he is powerful. He also exalts himself above all. He thinks he's better than everyone else, even God. All right, so that's the little horn. But we also learn in the Bible that Satan is going to give the little horn his power. So we should expect the little horn to increasingly exhibit the characteristics of Satan. So here are some of the characteristics of Satan that we can expect this little horn to have. Enormously ambitious, seeks honor and power, seeks to rule, seeks to destroy the agency of man and to make them captive to him. He seeks to be God. He is a liar and a deceiver, a smooth, upside-down talker. So in his world, everything that is evil that he does, he's going to market to you as though it's good. This is good that this is happening, or it's good that I recommend this. Whereas everything that is truly good and truly right, he is viciously going to attack that, and he's going to label it as evil. So he's going to paint a very upside down world. In Revelation chapter 12, the devil is called the accuser, who accuses people day and night. So look for somebody who does things like that, continuously accusing people of this or that. Also, he deflects, always falsely pointing the fingers at others, not at him. He's disobedient, he's revengeful, a child of wrath. He's rebellious, a law unto himself, wants to do things his way. He's destructive, he destroys many people. So he should also have a history of destroying people. He's a murderer, and he's just flat out evil. So let's go back to the goals I had at the beginning of this presentation. This is the last slide. So I definitely want to increase the world's awareness of the events headed our way. Per that prophecy in 2nd Esdras chapters 11 and 12, we'll see the eagle head start to fall as early as next year, 2024. And we in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have definitely been warned about this happening in America through the Book of Mormon. And if you want to do a refresher on some of those chapters of the dangers of divided government, check out Alma 61, Helaman 1, and 3rd Nephi chapter 7. I think there's some foreshadowing happening in 3rd Nephi chapter 7 in particular, where the government is destroyed, the people divide into tribes, and an AntiChrist, just like this little horn, becomes king of a secret combination. I hope this deck has helped you identify and not be deceived and not be destroyed by the little horn. Do not follow this man. And thirdly, I want to remind you that there's always salvation in heeding God's living prophet on the earth, but only if you heed it, only if you heed him. So some of the things our prophets and apostles have been telling us for years are have an annual food storage. Because when catastrophe strikes, there's no time to get prepared. You either have it or you don't. So if you have not heeded that advice to have annual food storage, I just urge you to take the time that you have now to stock up, because when calamity strikes, the supermarkets are going to be emptied within a day. And then how will your family eat? Also, I encourage you to live within your means. Now is not a time to be in debt, or when this beast rises, it's not a good time to be subject to debt. President Spencer W. Kimball always encouraged us to have a garden. If you have the space and the time, now might be a good time to start one. Also, President Nelson has recently been telling us to increase our ability to receive personal revelation. Do you know the Lord? Do you know that He loves you? Do you know how to hear His voice? Do you know how to receive personal revelation and act on it? And do you know that when you act on it, the Lord always steers you in good places? You will always be right if you heed His voice. So if you don't have that type of history, do what you can in the time that you have now to develop that ability to receive personal revelation and have the courage to act on the things that the Lord tells you to do. And lastly, I would just say that, if you read these things and you feel the same way that I do, make sure to warn your neighbor. There is some time left, and I just want, everyone to just to have as much spiritual readiness as possible, as well as physical preparedness. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you for your time.